Alright, what's up, guys? It's 3-on-1 Podcast. I'm Bryce Davis. That's Garrett Campbell.
What's up?
And here is our very special guest, my best friend in the world, Stephen Gray.
Woo!
Thank you.
And tonight, on the choice of Garrett and Stephen, we decided to watch Friend Request from 2018, actually. Rather kind of new. And well, we're going to have some shit to say about this fucking movie.
I fell asleep.
Okay, I don't think it was not that bad.
A small nap from Garrett. A good 10-minute expositional nap from Garrett.
And when I woke up, I was in the exact same place as I was before I fell asleep. I had no idea what was going on.
That is how a good few segments of this movie went. But let's dive right into it with the incredible opening that we got, which was the very stereotypical cold open to a part that happens later in the movie that is, for some reason, a trope nowadays.
Yeah. The whole...
Jump cut to the announcement of
the event that spawns everything, and then you go back and watch it lead up.
So at the beginning, when that started, I was pretty bummed out, because I think everyone kind of hates that 2 weeks earlier... And then, you jump into the story.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy that that's not where the movie ended. So when we got to that scene in the middle of the movie, and we still had another 30 minutes left, I was like, oh, sweet, something happens.
It's not a record scratch. Bet you wonder how I got here. It's not quite that, but, I mean,
no,
it was that.
But I definitely think the movie could have done without it. Because you get that in the beginning, it resets, then you get there a second time, you're like, oh, now this scene has value. But it would have had value even if I didn't see it the first time.
Totally.
It's everything that builds up that we're like, oh.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if they hadn't have shown that in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Because...
the huge reveal that starts the climax comes directly at the start. So I guess it's supposed to build anticipation to get to how you got there, but you don't care about shit yet. It's not like you're... Like, that scene would make sense in... the second, if that's how Endgame started.
Yeah.
You already knew how Infinity War ended, and Endgame starts like that. That would make sense because you're already invested in some of the characters, but you don't even know who these fucking people are.
No.
Which leads into the first, really big problem that was, really jarring at the start was how it used... I know the whole theme of this movie was social media's, effect on people.
Yeah.
But, how it used Facebook to, explain... all of these friendships and all this stuff before you even know the name of any character besides the girl who dies later. And, maybe if that scene was, 30 seconds, it'd be cool. But that scene was,
it was
the whole...
2 minutes.
It was, opening credits without there being opening credits.
Yeah.
And it was just weird, and there was just weird music playing. I mean, it did lead into that cool first transition where it was, her background... on her Facebook page was the background that she was running in the next scene, which was a very cool transition, and the only time that was used, which really sucked.
Yeah. Well, so, just one question, because I've listened to the podcast a few times, and I'm not extremely familiar. Do people usually watch the movie before they listen to this, or are we talking about scenes that people have no idea what's going on?
Oh.
So, I'm just thinking maybe it's a good idea to share what the movie... Garrett, why are you taking your shirt off?
It's hot. No, we full spoil everything.
Yeah, full spoil is just kind of fire at you.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to say something to ruin
so
the movie.
So the podcast, to me, is for people who have probably seen this movie or are friends who just want to listen to us just rag on a stupid fucking movie, because this was in fact a stupid fucking movie.
Yep. I think I was talking a lot of crap. There are some good things that... I enjoyed about this.
I think a very good... yet abused aspect of the film was using the Facebook pages to move the narrative, which could have been cool, but was heavily, heavily abused. And too leaned in on, we'll get into it in a little bit, but the way that Facebook has to do with it.
One scene comes to mind really heavily. You and I were both like, wow, okay.
But to go into the characters real quick, can we talk about the main love interest being... fucking Peter from Narnia, dude? He was looking like a straight up hunk, and somehow the same age that he looked when Narnia was filmed. It's almost like nobody is the age they say they are in movies.
No, so you're talking about the whole using Facebook to jump back and move the narrative, and when Laura first gets on Facebook and friends Marina, yeah, I want to make sure.
Yeah.
So when Laura first friends Marina, she's scrolling through her feed. There's that video of what we find out later is her looking through the window.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when I saw that, my first thought was like the rest of after she kills herself, the rest of the movie is her constantly watching her from afar. It's that constant, like that little girl's looking out the window, looking at someone, and she's looking at Laura.
Yeah, that I mean.
And I was like, ooh,
it'll
good.
It'll be mentioned when we talk about the end, but it definitely is heavily implied that the whole time in the computer screen was this entity looking back.
Witch, demon, whatever. I wasn't paying attention for the slight explanation that it had about halfway through.
But okay, so just to get into it, Laura, I know it tries to paint her as like the very nice girl amongst all the popular girls and stuff, but when she meets the very weird girl in class, Maria, who she has seen staring at her on campus, like the first time she speaks to her, the very next thing that happens is she gets like 1 million fucking messages on Facebook. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I do understand that she's supposed to be this very nice, like, what do you call it? Like the good. If we're talking about the cabin in the woods, look at a horror movie perspective, like the sweet virgin in the movie is this Laura, but it's like way too far. Like if any single person, any one of us, meeting somebody and then opening Facebook to 1 billion bajillion messages from her about how much she wants to be friends. Oh, I love you so much. We're made for each other and shit. Like, no, you're just not going to talk to her.
You're immediately getting blocked.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like,
especially on a huge college campus that they were at. Like, there's 1 million people. If anybody was weird to you, you just not fucking talk to them. No matter if you're this nice person who
you're like, that's weird.
Who you only found out through Facebook exposition is like a charitable person that helps charities and shit. Like, that was. That scene just kept coming back to me throughout the movie. That first 3-minute scene. It was so the montage of their Facebooks. It was so ham-fisted.
My dad would be 55 today. Happy birthday.
Rip in peace, my dead-ass dad. Happy birthday.
Yeah, like, it could, just like any other movie, could just be like casually mentioned later, but instead it's just straight up posted in the first montage.
I got dead dad.
And then, fucking... The one of her friends, because I mean, it doesn't even matter what her friends were named. It was just.
All I know is that there was Gus and Isabel.
Gus and Isabel and like.
And then Kobe was the computer guy.
You mean Harry?
Shout out Harry.
Shout out Harry.
Love you, Harry.
Kobe was kind of like you, but so. Shout out to the blonde friend who I don't think any of us can name because she was so standard and like a background character. But when she's talking shit about how the girl's plucking her eyebrows in class, and just to make the main character seem so smart, she's like, actually, that is a syndrome called tiktaluctomania or some shit. It's like, oh, okay, we get it. She's the most wonderful person in the world, and she's actually smart, too. How awesome.
That shit's called trichotillomania, and it sucks.
Well, no, we were talking about how using the Facebook feed to move the story along was kind of lame. I think something that was cool that I noticed early on is as the movie progresses to the peak, we get her friend counter keeps popping up, and it moves from 800 to 859, and then it hits the peak where she posts that first video of the death.
Yeah.
And you slowly watch and it's like a counter of the decline of the movie, and I was like, man, that's kind of a cool.
Yeah,
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. That was cool for a point for a first while, but a lot of times it would show her look at her phone and her messages would pop up on screen so you could see it. But I hated later on in the movie when that would just pop up when no one was looking at a phone, nobody was looking at a screen. It wasn't naturally letting the friend count progress. It was just popping up later on, just being like, oh yeah, she has 82 friends now instead of 800.
Or whatever her last name is.
Yeah.
9 friends.
I hated how it just kept popping up. When if it was somebody checking their phone or somebody, so much of this time was spent with people looking at computer screens.
Yep.
It could have used that subtly.
Yeah.
But instead, it just kept popping up throughout.
Here's her walking down the hallway.
I really get, like, we got the whole time that the girl was just trying to make it to where she had 0 friends.
Yep.
But no, it just had to keep poking at you and just, like, telling you. Just
You're going to be as lonely as I am. Smiley face.
But, okay, so another part about that Facebook shit is when they were first looking at the girl's Facebook page, and it kept, like, zooming in on, like, her art that she would post. It was so clearly, like, just padding some extra minutes into the runtime, because it would let those snippets play for, like, 20 or 30 seconds.
Play them, like, 4 times in a row.
Just dragging the fuck out of them.
Some of them were, a little creepy. Some of them were real fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of them were, like, horrendously bad CGI, and some of them were, like, actual art, which... I don't really know why you'd mix the two. I don't really get that. Whatever imagery is supposed to be there, some of it was ham-fisted and some of it wasn't very clear.
Yeah. Well, all of it, also all of the, because I think it showed the same 4 or 5 clips repeatedly. Every time they go back to the page, it's the witch hanging and burning herself. But
that's only in the second half, because in the first half we only see the mirror.
Yeah. And then there's the mirror in the forest.
The baby doll.
The burning building, and then the smokestacks.
The bitch with the weird
the
code
belly.
writing on her pregnant ass belly.
And did anyone ever see that? Because I never saw the pregnant. Oh, it's supposed to be her mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the pregnant belly with all the symbols.
Pregnant,
her dead mom.
Pregnant with the devil.
And then them keeping her alive. Okay. Yeah.
That code scene was so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So, I get that we're supposed to understand that this girl is, like, the weirdest girl ever and just keeps hitting her up or whatever, but, like, it does push it so far past, like, she's only seen her, like, twice, and then now she's already having, like, nightmares that involve this girl that had the worst CGI bugs ever. Fucking ever. It was literally, like, shitty cartoon bugs were flying on the fucking window.
There's a wasp, like, the size of, like a cell phone.
If I saw you in my nightmares after only speaking to you twice, I probably don't want to talk to you for a little while. But no, boom, it's coming. She's already stalking you, wants to come to your birthday party, but you're not going to fucking let her to your birthday party.
No, you tell her, fuck no!
Yeah, fuck no, like, Isabel said. That was a funny scene.
That was a good scene.
There was a couple good joke scenes.
I noticed. Did anyone see the birthday invite scene? So Laura meets her friend. She's like, oh yeah, she's coming to the birthday party, and everyone's like, why didn't you just tell her no? And she's like, oh, you can't do it. But we never saw that scene, right? That's something we're supposed to assume. It doesn't show that, right?
No, see, it definitely felt like a good couple times in this film that there were scenes that were supposed to be in the movie that were cut and then were padded with all these, like, really long shots of imagery and stuff. Like, we needed to see her inviting herself or implying that she, like, that was like very important.
Yeah, because that would have been like, wow, that's fucking creepy.
Especially right off the start.
So at one point when there's a montage of, like, the messages that she sends, there is something along the lines of,
are you doing a birthday party?
Yeah, excited for your birthday this weekend. I'll see you there, something like that.
Oh, so it's through the DMs. Okay.
Yeah, and then
Laura tells the blonde so many friend, so fast.
Yeah, if you're not actively paying attention, you're gonna miss
unless you're really, really depending on that to move the plot, which you, I guess, at this point probably should have, like you were.
Yeah.
Like, it just would have snuck right past.
I was just trying to find something to do.
Well, I mean, I was sitting there trying to read them as fast as they could come out, but I mean, it would, like you said, because she sends her, 70 messages.
It would show, it would scroll past 15.
Like, yeah.
But the big one was right after she has the nightmare, she wakes up and, like, her friends and her are looking at the girl photoshopping her into a picture.
Yeah.
That is the biggest, holy fuck, I should not be this crazy bitch's friend.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She's just photoshopping herself into a pic of me, having to Photoshop somebody out. That's fucking weird as shit.
Yeah.
So when you hit her with the big old block, and then you buy a taser, and
so they talked about her, like they saw her pulling her eyelashes out, and then she went, restrictophobia or whatever.
They didn't show that.
Yeah, I thought
It didn't show her.
It did not show her pull.
Because they were joking about her pulling out her hair and her eyelashes.
We never saw it.
No, until that up to that
until
point.
The beanie point.
You had only until the beanies that come later, but you'd only seen her in the cafeteria and then in the class twice, and it was just in like
and I thought it was in the class that I saw her pluck eyebrows.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, this is a representation of a mid-2000s emo girl. Yeah. Okay.
But my thing was when she they get in that confrontation in the cafeteria. So Laura and what is her name again? Marina.
Mm-hmm.
Marina. So when Laura and Marina,
remember her name on Facebook was Marina.
That's right. So when Marina and Laura get in that confrontation in the cafeteria,
when she gets outed as bald.
So she shoves her over, the beanie comes off, and we find out she's been plucking all that hair out of the back, and then it never says why that's like her.
Okay, so it showed that in such an incorrect order, because you saw later when people started to die that they would freak out and pull their hair out. If you knew that happened, like if at least one person had died, and then that, which also would have really built the plot if like somebody died before you knew what was going on. But by the time people started to die, the fucking everything was in full swing.
Yeah.
But so was there any explanation for why she pulls her hair out other than just like she's crazy? And
all of the witch shit that comes later is barely fucking acknowledged. I don't know. Yeah. Like even on obeying witch lore and shit that I do understand, I've never heard anything about ripping your hair out and shit like that.
No.
That is just
I think they were just trying to hammer home that she was mentally unstable, because trichotillomania is a real life like mental disorder.
Okay.
I guess maybe yeah. And so like maybe that involved, but like it definitely doesn't say that again. It definitely doesn't punch.
No, they never acknowledge it again.
But a thing I can't decide if I liked or disliked being in it was that every time it showed her like her picture on the screen or it showed her Skyping, that it would like jump cut on her eyes or on her face.
Yeah, like glitch ever so slightly.
Yeah, kind of showing like the whole like witch or vampire thing that like supernatural entities cannot be fully pictured.
Yeah.
So it would like have
I thought it was interesting. I thought they did it well. They didn't like, oh man, the screen's blacking out, and then like when it comes back, it's like a visage of a horrible monster.
It was subtle, but it didn't happen enough, because there were times when it showed her face and it didn't cut. If it always was like kind of a distorted view, that would make a lot more sense. It would be able to keep poking that she was an entity. Which, if we were hinted that she was an entity the whole time, instead of it just being this grand reveal, it would have been better. But it's only hinted at maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Well, so part of that was throughout the whole thing, and then especially when Kobe starts, Kobe brings up her Facebook and looks.
And this is like the crazy HTML, but instead of it being normal, it's just like
it's crazy.
It's like Star Wars letters.
Yeah, it literally looks like Klingon.
Yeah,
it looks like Klingon from Star Trek is written on the screen.
Yeah. Well, so my thing was because then the movie never explains how witchcraft and ghosts and demons or whatever use Facebook and can code.
Yeah. See, that was the biggest fucking part that pissed me off. So was that the ghost was in Facebook? Maybe it's implying that since the Black Mirror was
the
laptop, but that wouldn't give her control of like the entire
internet.
Fucking internet.
Well, and so I think that my problem with that was 2-part. 1, you never understand it. It never explains why that thing. But 2, no one ever tells the 2 beat cops that. No one ever shows that to anyone. Like throughout the whole movie, Laura's constantly getting in trouble for not deleting stuff and not deleting her account. When it's not hard to in that moment go, watch Mrs. Dean, and pull up your phone and go, because every time she clicked on it, it would say unknown error, can't do that.
Yeah, if she had her hacker friend show the police that, it'd be different. But like nobody believes that she's not posting it because nobody can see that there's devil code in Facebook, and it would have been a better scene if she had gone to show them. And it looked normal. Then it would have implied that they were just all infected with this entity, which would have been a good touch, a good scene that they could have added while cutting so much of like the still shots and imagery that were all throughout.
Yeah, it's almost like they overused their budget in places and had to like pick up the pieces towards the end of production. And
Absolutely.
Just kind of fit all
Something
that
I
in.
really felt was like that was how almost all the acting in the whole film was pretty fine. Like there
Yeah,
wasn't
there's nothing wrong with it.
except for the mom. The mom was an awful actress. When it finally shows the mom, like for some reason so late in the movie, it introduces the mom and she's like, "What did you say to this girl?" And it was like so weird. I was like, man,
Honey, I need you home now.
they had kind of famous people as all the characters, except for that mom that was just bad, absolutely bad.
That was like the director's mom in real life.
It was the only character I saw that when they spoke, I was like, oh man, B movie, what the fuck.
Well, can we talk about all the character deaths? Like, just go through and... Because there was a couple of them where every time someone died, I was like, I don't know if that's
okay,
how that would have happened. So,
yeah, so
can we just go in? So, first one to die was Gus.
Gus,
Right?
the comedic relief boyfriend.
Yeah, so he's in his dorm room. For some reason, his door's open. I've lived in a college dorm. Your doors don't do that. Especially in 2018, if you open your door, it shuts.
Yeah, I have been at 2 different colleges and have been in multiple different dormitories at those colleges, and no dorm room has doors that just sit open.
No.
Fuck.
Yeah,
no.
they've got those hinges that once you open it, they shut.
But if the plot needs it for the ghost to be sneaky, then the door does stay open.
Okay, so there was that.
It's using his ghost powers to keep it
Ghost
up.
powers.
There was that bothered me. And then 2, he gets up and he walks from what I'm assuming is his dorm into the shared space. Like, maybe 10 people or whatever share that hallway or whatever.
There's no one, all lights are off.
And all the lights are off.
Dorm room.
He starts knocking on doors.
Dormitory hallways lights do not turn off.
Yep, they're always off.
Ever.
So these lights are off, and then he goes and knocks and opens a random door. Again, college dorm doors don't just open; they're
you
always
have to,
locked.
I mean, maybe you can
Keys
I'm sure
cards.
if we were talking to the fucking writer or director, they'd just be like, "Oh, the ghost realm interfering lets you do whatever, defies the fucking laws," but that does not obey. This movie does not obey that theory throughout. Only when it's convenient, as all these movies do.
Yep.
So that was another thing that kind of frustrated me.
So what I hated about Gus's death is when they were first introduced. So he's scared, running down the hallway, goes into the elevator, and when he gets in the elevator, there's the scary wasps. We already kind of know, like the wasps have been the thing they're out.
Yeah.
But then there's the 2 fucking monster kids.
The 2 dead kids. It was really weird why they added them in.
Yeah.
So
It's
just a jump scare.
It is literally only because the movie The Shining is steadfast as imagery throughout all horror, and they have to have those 2 twins.
Yeah.
Like that is such a reliable fear, is to be scared of those 2 demon kids, and that's all it was. It literally was never mentioned. I guess for maybe later when they're talking about like the bullies.
Yeah.
But like that is not who they were.
no, that's who I think.
Yeah, it's implied that they were.
Yeah,
because
it's
the faces
implied
were all fucked, and in
the wasps.
Yeah, in the crime report it said that they were found like demolished by wasps.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
so-
then once again, it is the kind of weird mentioned thing that is only slightly mentioned once in one screen cap.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what... But that was the thing is, so if we follow that through, when she's a kid, because it shows that these boys attack Marina when she's
the,
a kid, so-
when she's
and
the
then
original.
because she's a witch, the wasps kill these 2 boys, and now when she performs the Black Mirror ritual,
They follow?
Yeah, they become like serpents. But in that case, then when Laura becomes La Rina, becomes the witch, does Kobe become her servant because he was
Or
killed by
does
wasps in her?
Marina become her
Yeah.
entity?
So,
Literally, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, there's
no explanation.
Because the important things are not explained, and things that don't fucking matter to the story are delicately explained.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that too. I was at the same. So anything else about Gus?
Okay, so
I like
No.
this period comment. That was
Well-
pretty funny.
he was
I'm on my period.
some
I
of
need
the
time.
only good, like, comedic relief was
Yeah.
that guy. He was pretty funny. But, so, I mean, how he died was pretty crazy, and like the ghost making his girlfriend see him die was definitely cool. like really intense. Like a good intense scene was her discovering him, like killing him, smashing his head until he was dead. That was intense.
That was rough.
But so right after that, the main girl Laura has that dream where she is. Well, she's not. It's not even a dream. She's just like in one of those like ghost trances.
Mm-hmm.
Why? If you saw this scary imagery in a mirror on the weird post on the internet and you were walking down the hall and turned and you saw the mirror, why in the name of God would you look at your reflection in the devil mirror?
That's like the worst thing you could possibly do.
Literally anybody would know that a fucking devil mirror, lo and behold, has devils in it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't even remember what scene it was in, but when the face popped up behind her, and it was like...
It was immediately after that scene.
And it was like... Oh, yeah, because it was the scare that came with that. And it was like a
I don't even know what it was.
A glittering devil? It was like... There was like
so
a golden
stupid.
piece, and like... That is definitely not ever talked about and never brought up again.
Yeah. That's Gus, and then after Gus dies, Isabel's next, right? The girlfriend is the next one to die.
Yeah, and she's like walking through a metropolitan hospital, and no one's there.
Well, that's the thing that's something I think that the movie did, decently well. Is so we watch it the first time, and she goes through screaming. She locks herself in the stairwell and then kills herself. Okay. The demon kills her, okay?
Yeah.
Then the police show up with Laura, the boyfriend, and they watch the security footage, and she runs into the hallway. There's doctors around. She screams, okay? Doesn't hit the table, so in what we see the first time, she runs up, smashes the table, and is like yelling, okay? Then she runs off because she sees the twins. She runs down the hallway, locks herself in the stairwell.
Yeah.
Then when we watch the security cam footage, she walks out, turns her head a couple times frantically, runs down the hallway, and then locks herself in the stairwell. So
disobeying what happened in the previous scene.
And so, but I've never been I've never been around hospitals a lot, but I'm assuming if a patient frantically screaming runs out of a door,
someone's gonna stop her.
The doctors don't just let her keep
especially
doing that.
because the doctors would know, especially because she's still on her floor, so that her doctors and her nurses are somewhere there.
Exactly.
They know that she's in like severe psychological trauma.
Yeah.
They're gonna stop her and whatnot, but they just like all let her walk around and fucking slit her own throat. So they're more implicated than fucking Laura in that death.
Yeah. My least favorite part about that was when she goes into the stairwell, it's just, there's my dead ass body with my hair ripped out and my throat slit.
In a bathtub, right?
In a bathtub, yeah.
But no one else.
Fucking random.
No one else ever. That is not how she died, obviously.
Exactly.
And it never lets anybody else see themselves dead.
Nope.
Yeah.
So like this is not fucking one missed call where like their ghost calls them and shit. Like
I forgot about that movie.
The ghost is not you. The ghost is the same ghost in every other scene besides that scene. Yeah. It's the wasps, it's the witch lady, and it's the two kids, but it is not when fucking it's convenient for this girl.
Well, so that's what... So when we watch her death the first time, it is by the witch. So she looks up, she sees the two kids, runs into the stairwell, sees her body dead, and then looks in the corner, and the witch is looming over her, and then it fades underneath the stairwell, and she dies. But then when they watch security footage, they just say, "Here's how it ends." She slits her throat.
Yeah, but it doesn't show her freaking out and looking at herself,
or getting a razor at any point. We never see any.
Yeah, she just magically has a weapon.
Yeah,
that they wouldn't at all let her have at all.
No.
She would have had if they had shown her find it. If she had used a scalpel, sure.
No, it's just a whole ass straight razor.
Yeah, just somehow has a serious weapon that no one would let her have.
Yep.
But so you know how? So throughout this whole movie, like every single scene had cuts to Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hate how they used like the exact copy of Facebook, but did not ever say Facebook or use the Facebook logo. It's almost copyright infringement.
It's very close.
No, but if you don't say Facebook, then it could be anything.
But they somehow used the exact template.
Yeah, exact template, exact colors.
They probably were using Facebook and were like blocking out the Facebook symbol.
I'm sure they just edited it out.
Used scans of that and then just used it the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, I can almost guarantee you that's what they did.
Or so everybody saw the video when she dies, right?
You're talking about Isabel?
Yes.
Okay.
No. The backtrack a second. When Marina
Okay.
kills herself, hangs herself above a fire, right? That's intense.
That's real intense.
It definitely says that, what was the hacker's name? I can't remember.
Kobe,
yeah.
So Kobe later on knows that that's witch shit.
Mm-hmm.
If he had known, the plot could have progressed way earlier if it had just acknowledged that he knew that was witch shit. Because that's, like, I knew that. Like, if somebody hangs himself above a fire, that's a witch ritual. Fucking, I've seen a horror movie before. This dude's like a super horror nerd.
Yeah.
He knew that, but it didn't show it till way later.
So let me tell you what one of my notes says about that. My note says, no one tells anyone to anything, or no one says anything to anyone, is what it says.
About
anything.
And
Okay, so before we go into that, here we go, guys. Big 3-on-1 podcast question of the day. If you were responsible for someone else committing suicide and posting the video of it on Facebook, would you watch the video?
Probably, yeah. Probably, yeah.
Would we all watch the video?
Depends on the suicide method. I don't want to see someone blow their
But
brains.
you don't know yet.
Well,
she didn't know
So
yet.
are you saying, like...
Just like how Steven just said that in his notes, it said no one says shit about anything,
Yeah.
right? So nobody said shit about how she did it.
I feel like I'd have to.
Well, yeah, no, so... Because if I'm getting this right, you're saying, like, I wake up one day and I have a thing that says, like, you got a message. I open the message.
Let's say you could do the exact same thing. You wake up late for class. You go to class. And in class, they go, hey, Steven, you know how you've been kind of bullying that kid Bryce? Well, Bryce just committed suicide. And then so you're like...
What?
Is your instinct to be like, I gotta watch that fucking video, dog. Like, I gotta see him die.
It's definitely not
How'd
my
he die?
instinct.
No. I think what I would do is I'd open up Facebook and it'd be like, because what she does is she opens up Facebook and it's like, here's the video. So if I opened up Facebook and it was like, here's the video, I'd go, whoa, what now? I was like, well, yeah. I would be like, what the heck is on my what the heck is on my feed? Because it's happened before. People have hacked my Facebook and I've got super weird videos or like people saying stuff about demons or whatever.
Okay, I guess.
And I always give it a look.
You're like, since in this context nothing crazy had happened yet.
Yeah.
So I guess it'd be like, I'm gonna watch
well, because you
little bit of it.
Well, no, because you wouldn't know. You'd be like, oh, this is if I see videos on Facebook or anywhere, I don't assume they're suicide.
But
videos,
no,
even if they say
no,
that.
no, but in this context, it is that your professor just said,
yeah,
Bryce committed suicide, and then the first thing you do is you open your phone, and it is a video that I tagged you in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I
think my
don't watch it.
Yeah, my curiosity would get the better of me.
I'd have
it.
to. I'd have to watch it.
But that is, as soon as that happens, that is when it all starts, and it just is so ridiculous that the entity has like full control over the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems a little ridiculous that
and there's so many different social medias. I do hate that like it made it heavily seem that like they're in like every college student's entire life is
Facebook.
ran by one social
by
media.
Facebook. Yeah, for sure.
Not a single mention of Snapchat. No one ever sent a tweet. Bullshit.
I mean that's kind of how I think you could describe the whole movie. It's just bullshit. But that did lead. When she gets tagged in the video of the other girl's suicide and her blonde friend, unnamed blonde friend, walks up behind her and goes, "What the fuck? Unfriend that dead bitch."
Yeah.
That was the only
the
line that
best
got
shit.
a good laugh out of all of us. That shit was great.
Unfriend that dead bitch.
Well, so who dies after Isabel? So it's Gus, then Isabel.
And
Fuck,
then
I don't even know. I guess that jumps. Oh, because everyone.
Then it's
Oh.
Blonde Chick, right?
Because then there's the big 30-minute...
Guys? Oh, I fell asleep.
Because when... Yeah, exactly. This is when you fall asleep. Because the couple dies. Gus and then Isabel.
Yeah.
And then there's a huge 25-minute or so gap.
Yeah. Well,
to the next death.
Of
and it was
blonde girl getting
and that was
hunted and then jumping out the window.
That was when we fucking were all talking shit, and I like went and ate food and got another drink.
You ate food?
I ate spaghetti.
What the fuck?
Oh, while you I ate
How
spaghetti.
long was I asleep?
For these 20 minutes, I guess. But that's when Garrett woke up, and I was just complaining about how this movie that is an hour and 31 minutes long felt like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
In that gap. Like, it was just like, they almost, like, the pacing was just so bad that it seemed like they, like, forgot about certain expositional points, so they had to, like, add in this, like, 15 to 25 minutes in between. And then the blonde girl dies, boom, falls out that window. And then...
Gets put in, doesn't die then.
Goes to the hospital and then kills herself in front of a cop. That was intense.
That was a good scene.
That cop sucks. But
yeah, okay. Yeah, can we address the beat cops real quick that are making jokes the whole time?
No, there is. It is so clearly good cop, bad cop, because there's the white cop that looks like me if I was 30.
Yep.
And then there's the black cop who's like actually taking his job seriously, and then the me cop that looks like me is just like,
yeah. Well,
when this chick fucking sliced herself, like...
Did you see it?
Did you see it? When she sliced herself with, like...
Well, yeah, so...
Badass, was there blood?
Yeah, he's doing one-liners the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, every time he shows up.
You have a serious cop, and then you have a cop that is literally just The Rock. Just saying shit The Rock would say in a The Rock movie.
Yeah, it's... So, I don't know, that kind of bugged me, but... I thought that was a really good scene, like... We get to watch the witch take control.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just through social media.
It wasn't just weird, like, confusing shit.
Yeah, he's doing that really weird thing on the phone, telling his wife he doesn't want Chinese food for 40 seconds.
That was so long, and then he's like, oh yeah, I want Chinese food. Like, I get it. It's a, my wife is demanding joke. But that was, once again, just like half the shit in this movie, just ham-fisted. It just keeps saying the same thing.
But, you know, while it's going on, you're watching the background of, like, she opens her eyes, and it's her normal eyes, and then she, like, blinks a couple times and, like, does that weird twitch thing, and then when she opens them, her eyes are blue. Everyone's eyes always turned blue when stuff got freaky.
Yeah, like a sickly blue-white.
So, for the part that Garrett was asleep on, so can we talk about how dumb it was? So this whole movie is the internet, right?
Yeah.
So why did Laura have to physically go to, like, that city and talk to someone who knew Marina before? Like, it would have made way more sense if she had just Googled it. But it, like, showed her Google it, and then she, like, physically went there and talked to somebody.
Well, so she was trying to figure out information about her because she had no... So she finds out that she needs to destroy the laptop. And she goes, well, where the heck am I supposed to go to find this laptop? And they go, the only lead they had initially, so they break into her dorm room. They find that picture of the school, or of the orphanage. So they go, okay, let's go to the orphanage. So they go to the orphanage. They find the mistress, or whatever you call the lady that works there. That gives her the information about, you know, that's when we find out about the twins that she kills and her staring at the computer for hours. I think
maybe if, when she was, like she finds that out, goes to the dorm room, finds that information, and, like, Googles that orphanage, if it was, like... Or, horrible tragedy, orphans saved by this orphanage or something. Like, that would have made more sense if it had just kept it in the internet. Because so much of this movie was just fully depended on the internet. Like, if it had kept it in the internet instead of, like, having her, like, it was The Unborn or Case 39 where they have to, like, go to a secondary location in a orphanage or insane asylum, which is such a trope. Yeah. So fucking stupid. If this movie wants to be progressive and talk solely about social media, then it should have just kept it in on. But it almost seemed like it backed down. Yeah. Because it showed them find information on the internet. And then showed them find more information in person when they should have just found all on the internet, because the internet tells you everything.
Well, and just to go along with that, not only did no one, like, share information, no one told the truth. Like, there were plenty of times where if you would have just been like, hey, here's what's going on. You know, no one, for some reason, Laura, her boyfriend, Kobe, no one ever said anything to the police at any point.
They're
right?
not narcs.
Right? So, if you would have been like, hey, crazy stuff's going on, I don't look innocent, I can prove that, I didn't do these things, go here.
Yeah,
or come with me
Come
here.
with me, check that, we have to figure this out. But, like, she wouldn't get away. She's still, like, an intense fugitive that is implicated in the deaths of all these people.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, she's gone. But we'll talk about that in a fucking minute. But so go back into the deaths real quick.
Oh yeah, so
blonde girl,
Gus, Isabel, blonde girl,
and then they go to the
shoots
place.
herself in the head.
They go to the place. They go to the actual site of her death.
I think the best character development in that movie was Kobe.
I think that part, when it, like, comes to him, like, deciding that he needs to kill her so he doesn't die, like, that's intense. That's fucking crazy. But, like, that seemed tacked on. Like, that seemed like they didn't have a reason for her to move from one location to the next. So they just added it, because, like, that definitely didn't need to happen, because he's just gonna die.
Well, see, no, I think it came real naturally, because he's sitting there, like, we see, because he's the one doing the research. She's not doing anything. Mm-hmm. And he's sitting there spending hours on the computer. I mean, throughout the movie, as you see him, you watch the
computer room.
Yeah.
Why was he in the computer room if he has a supercomputer in his dorm room?
Yeah, so, also weird.
Just to get the jump scare with the janitor.
He likes to feel pedestrian.
So, we always see, every time we see him, his bags get a little bit worse. I mean, by the last scene, those eyes are just purple and sad. He's got that bloodshot eye.
Maybe I was mad because nobody else had character development but him.
He was spending hours in front of that computer, like...
cocaine eyes.
Because we even got a little cut scene of him doing research. Of highlighting stuff and finding out about, like, Black Mirror witch magic.
Yeah.
And so
that was a well done montage.
Yeah, so he finds out, oh shoot, she curses this girl. I know that she's trying to make, I know Marina's trying to make Laura lonely. Well, if Laura's dead, she can't be lonely. So you can see him develop and be like, we're not gonna find this laptop. I'm gonna have to kill her.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I think he's driven to, he's just mad. He's crazy.
And then his craziness and her having to run is the only thing that drives her to the place she actually needed to go.
Yeah.
Which did lead to the actual bad shit that had to happen. Which I guess maybe, like, that was the ghost, like, pushing him into depravity, and it, pushed him to push her somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get to the right place. So maybe when he was looking in the mirror, it's implying that that's what the ghost told him to do.
Yeah, it's only
because his bags were bad, but then he got the makeup black eyes that everybody else got when the ghost saw them. Makeup black eyes, and then he's like, "I'm gonna fucking stab you," and then the fucking Narnia dude's death is the quickest.
Oh yeah, he just comes up and knifes him.
Everybody else has like an intense scene. His is just, and the girl doesn't even freak out. She just goes and runs away. But like her boyfriend that she supposedly loves, that we saw their entire relationship in the course of this movie that takes 2 weeks to unfold. But okay, so now everyone has died.
Hold on, Gus, Isabel, blonde chick.
Blonde chick, poor girl. She had a name.
Boyfriend. Peter? His name's not Peter, right?
I don't think it said. I don't know.
Peter was...
Peter is the name of him in Narnia.
Yeah. It definitely calls him by his name. It has to, right?
Please
tell me his name's not boyfriend in the movie credits or something.
Might as fucking well be.
Okay,
but okay.
Boyfriend. And then Kobe gets attacked by wasps. And I think
that's gnarly.
Well, so I think that's the transition where we go... Where we should have started to go, Laura's the witch now. At that point, 0 friends. Marina has completed her mission.
She sits down and just looks down the hall.
Yeah, and Laura is now the witch.
And see, man,
because that's why the wasps protected her.
If it had just ended, if the movie had just ended with her sitting down at the computer and just looking, and like if she looked and saw her reflection as Marina, it would have done what the movie said better. than showing her dressed the same as Marina in the next scene, and with a Facebook with her name as Lara. But once again, it had to add the extra 3 minutes because this movie so clearly just had to make itself over an hour and a half to be marketed as a full movie or whatever. It's not The Sitter with Jonah Hill. I don't know if you've ever watched The Sitter with Jonah Hill. That movie's only an hour and 11 minutes long.
We are at 45 minutes right now.
But so, comes to that point. We've talked about all we can talk about in this film. So, from 1 to 10, what do we rate this movie? Garrett first.
All right. So, since I sadly was not able to view the full movie,
you missed maybe fucking 20 minutes.
See, the 20 minutes that I missed
were the most uncrucial.
Exactly.
The part that we didn't even talk about.
Exactly. So, despite that, I think overall I'm going to give it a 6. I think that, it did some things well. When the guy's looking at the computer, when the door starts doing its thing, and you think, oh, something's going to jump out on the screen, or it's going to be like behind him, and there's nothing there, and it just kind of adds to the eeriness.
Yeah, but then his reflection never moves. And
exactly.
It
that
does
cool.
It does keep that throughout the movie.
Exactly.
And that was a very cool touch.
Yeah.
A subtle point in a movie that was in no way subtle.
Yeah. I like that quite a bit. There's a lot of shit I hated. I thought the way that they kind of portrayed Marina at times was kind of whack. Because she didn't really seem
She's
like...
really standard. It didn't really seem like a character.
Exactly. She was just generic crazy bitch.
Yeah, that almost could have just been a ghost.
Yeah. See, it would have been so much more scary
if she was never a physical.
She was never there.
If she was never a physical person and was just talking to her on the internet,
just an account.
That could have been awesome.
Yeah. So
I saw you in class, and then she's looking around in class, and there's nobody that looks like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That would have been.
But when they're saying that girl didn't exist later, and it's like, but every person in that school saw her.
Yeah. Every person saw that fucking video. But yeah, all said and done, I'm going to give it a 6. Not a great movie, not a horrible movie. That's about it. That's all I got.
Alright, Steve, your turn.
I think I'm going to rate it a little bit higher. I think I'm going to say 6.5. Maybe 7. But I think 7's pushing it, so I think 6.5 is good. I think it did a really good job of showing how obsessed I think some people do get into Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. I think it did a really good job of showing how evil that stuff can become in it just being what it is and how it sucks you in. I think it did a really good job of that. I think it did a really good job with the subtle scares, so at the very end when those 2 twins kept showing up, that was good.
Yeah.
When she was
like walking down the hall and it was just over there in the background.
Yeah, that was good. Obviously the face in the screens was good. I enjoyed how the whole time Laura thought she was going to be in danger, and when she finally has that conversation with Kobe,
he has fully figured out that she was never.
Yeah, he's like, "You're not in any danger. Shut up. Like, I'm not here for you. I'm just trying to save myself." And you're like, "Ooh, I thought that was a good."
It was very cool that he had such strong character development.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the best part of the movie, I think.
Or character descent, I guess, because he did not get better. He got worse. He was sane and then went insane.
So yeah.
But you saw a gradual climb into insanity.
Yeah. So I think that was really good. I think things I didn't like. I don't think I could name many. I think I didn't like how just really weird Marina was. Like it was one of those things where she was just too weird to talk to. Like,
yeah, if she was a more normal character, it would have made the movie make a little more sense.
Yeah, because I mean, like we had said in the beginning, if some weird person is doing that, you're like, well, unfriend. That was weird.
Yeah,
but if it was like somebody started acting weird, if it had been one of her friends,
it's like all of a sudden Gus is a fucking creep.
It's almost like this movie was halfway in between being 2 different narratives.
Yeah, they just couldn't decide. on what they wanted to pick.
And then I don't know how they could have done it, but I didn't really like the deaths very well. I think those could have been done better. They might have been orchestrated in a better way.
A little too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how those could have been played out, but I think those could have been better. And overall, I think it was a decent film. I think it was good.
So, I'm gonna actually play a little bit medium this time, and I'm just gonna give it a solid 5. Like, this movie didn't suck huge dick. Like, it wasn't as bad as movies we watched, like The Nun, Slenderman,
Pee Pee Poo Poo Man.
Pee Pee Poo Poo Man. That's a fucking 2.
Ugh.
That's as bad as movies get. Pee Pee fucking Poo Poo Man. But this movie wasn't good. It didn't do a lot of things well. It did some things well, like the subtle scares. There were some that were good. The character development of a couple characters was alright, but like literally I don't even know the boyfriend or blonde girl's names, and I've seen this movie twice. Like, I'm just gonna give it a 5. Like, it wasn't fucking terrible. It was mediocre at best. Could have done things a lot better. But it just seemed there was a lot of lazy writing that I just can't get behind. Like, this is not a movie to buy. Don't fucking buy this movie.
Yeah.
Watch it on Netflix and drink a bunch of fucking whiskey sours like we did.
Wait, one more question, because I want to see if anyone else kept track. Did anyone count the number of jump scares?
No.
No.
Okay, so I think if I counted right, I counted 4 jump scares in the whole movie. They were like legitimate, like.
That made that noise because all of the jump scares in the movie made the same noise. It was like a it was like a shriek and like a clock dum dum. Like,
So if anyone watches this, count the jump scares. Let me know if I'm right.
he's probably right.
Probably.
He paid probably a little more attention. I had spaghetti and a good deal of Jack Daniels.
He definitely paid more attention than me. I took a nap.
All right, guys, this was 3-on-1 podcast covering Friend Request. Y'all have a good night.